If you're looking for a higher level of capability out of your 2018 or newer JL Wranglers front end, this Rockslide Engineering Gear Series mid front bumper with the winch plate is one that you need to check out. Now this is a perfect option for the JL owner who wants a bumper that includes all of the necessary off-road requirements of recovery as well as lighting, and has a modular construction to tailor it to your needs over time. This is also a hybrid aluminum and steel build, which is perfect for a balance of weight savings, protection, and reliability. Now this is great for the serious off-roader or even the weekend warrior that wants to invest in a system that is incredibly functional and one that will last thanks to the unique design. Now this front bumper features a pretty modular setup with some cool features that will definitely benefit your Wrangler's capability when it comes time to take it on the dirt. Now first, the bumper is a mid-width design option with the addition of these outer wings for added coverage, but as you can see, they are fully removable if you do want to run a stubby front bumper at any point with this system. Now those outer wings and the center portion of the bumper also include 4-inch light pockets for factory lighting and aftermarket lighting, and this does include a removable bull bar, as you can see here in the front, that has mounting points for a 20-inch light bar. Now the bumper also includes a winch plate for recovery. I do really like that it is recessed to make sure that there's optimal flow through the grill and that the winch is protected, and it has 2 welded D-ring mounts on either side that can be used as a recovery point or can be used for flat towing with the right bracket. Now this bumper also has a pre-drilled hole for a flag or antenna mount, which is also just a nice little touch that is unique to this setup. Now this has a hybrid construction, as I mentioned, an outer aluminum shell and a steel center section that houses the winch and tow hooks for a reliable and solid construction. Now the aluminum is also great for weight savings, as I mentioned, so it's not going to do a crazy job of pulling down the nose of the JL compared to a full steel bumper, considering that you have a little bit of offset between the materials here, and it's great for longevity considering that it doesn't rust compared to a steel option that has the ability to. Now it can corrode over time, but this includes a textured black powder coat finish on top to resist corrosion altogether and offers a tough look to the front of the JL. Now the addition of the bull bar as well as the wings, those are also made of an aluminum construction with a matching powder coat for a cohesive appearance when you want to run them, and the front bumper is also completely bolt-on with no modifications required, and it's made in the USA as an added bonus. Now this is a premium option for a front bumper, coming in at about $2,300. Now what I will say about this is that it includes a lot for that price point with all of the additional accessories that you can add on to this, the ability to change the width between mid-width and a stubby front bumper, and other key benefits that a lot of standard options just don't come with. Now the hybrid construction is also a very unique element of this front bumper and is a lot of the reason for that price point, because the aluminum is a premium material, especially in this quantity for this front bumper, and it's really for the JL owner who wants to invest in their mods for the longevity and additional benefits that come with it. So if you're looking for a front bumper that brings a lot of those benefits and features to the table, this is a great option to take your Jeep's armor to the next level. Now this is a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter and should take only about 2 hours to get this installed. It is a drill-free, modification-free install. So at this point, I'm gonna hand it over to one of our installers. They're gonna show you a detailed breakdown on how to piece this together, how to get it bolted up to your JL. So that is going to wrap it up for what I have to say. Let's go ahead and get into the install.
Tools required for this install include an impact gun, a ratchet, clip remover tool, scissors or diagonal cutters, 3/32, 3/16, and 7/32 Allen wrenches, 7/16, 1/2 inch, 9/16, and 11/16 wrenches, an extension, swivel adapter, 7, 8, 13, 16, and 18 millimeter sockets, 1/2 inch and 11/16 sockets, and some zip ties. What's up guys? Today we're installing a front bumper on our Wrangler. First we're going to watch a quick uninstall video showing you how to remove your front bumper, and I'll meet you right back here for the install.
So to begin this installation, we're going to need to remove our factory bumper. We're going to begin with the air dam underneath. There's a series of pop clips that we'll have to use a screwdriver or a trim panel removal tool, and there's 2 screws that we're going to use an 8mm socket for. All right, so we have 8 of these push pins all the way across the bottom. We're going to just take and pop the center out, and that's going to release that clip. So once you get the last screw out of the bottom, you're ready to pull the whole shield off. So next we're going to take off this metal shield using a 16mm socket. You're going to have 1 bolt on either side. After you get those bolts off, you can lift this up and it'll slide right off. So next we're going to unplug our fog light harness. It's located here on the passenger side frame rail. We're just going to press this tab in. And then we can disconnect our plug. So after we have our fog light harness unplugged, you're ready to remove the 4 nuts on both ends of the frame rail. We're going to use an 18mm socket to do this. So the last thing to disconnect before we pull our bumper off, there's going to be 2 push pins, 1 on either side on the top of the frame rail. We'll need to pop those out with a screwdriver, and then we can pull our bumper off. With everything disconnected, you can remove your stock bumper.
So now that we have our stock bumper removed, we're going to have to take apart a lot of our bumper to access our wiring harness and also to remove our fog lights. So the first thing we need to do is grab a clip remover tool and remove all of our plastic covers. So I'm going to start in the middle here. Just pop out all these clips and you can pull this piece right off. Next, we're gonna remove our side pieces. This is gonna be the same on each side. Same thing, just pop out all these clips and pull your cover off. Do the same thing on the other side. Next, we're gonna remove our fog lights. This is also gonna be the same thing on both sides. So press in the tab on your connector, pop it off, and then take a 7mm socket to remove your 4 screws. And then you can just lift that right out of place. Next, we need to remove this metal structure. So we've got 4 13mm nuts on each side. So grab a 13mm socket to pull those off. Do the same thing on the other side. Now on the passenger side of the bumper, we've got this one clip here. So just pop that out and then you can lift this whole thing out. Next, we're gonna have to remove every single 7mm screw in this bumper to get to our wire harness. So the first thing I'm gonna do is pop out my tow hooks. These will just lift right out. And then we'll grab that 7mm socket and get to work. So now everywhere that we have one of these 7mm screws, we're gonna pull it out. Before I do that, I'm just gonna pop this clip out for the wire harness. Then grab a 7mm socket and pull all of these out. And then do that same thing on the other side. And now you can pull that inner shell out, and we need to get all of the clips for our wire harness disconnected. Now grab a clip remover tool, pop out all these clips. And then just feed your harness through the holes. And set it to the side. So now we're gonna start assembling the outer shell of our bumper. We're gonna get our winglets installed first. We've got those, and we've also got these grills that are gonna go on the inside of our bumper. Now you can choose to install these or not install these. They're an optional piece, but they will fill that gap pretty nicely. So now we're gonna grab our hex head bolts and put those through the winglet into the bumper, and then we've got some nuts going on the other side. I'm gonna get this one in first, because this is the one that we have the least amount of access to. So slide it in and then get your finger down in there. Put that into place. Put your little grill in there. Thread your nut on. And then thread in the rest of your bolts and nuts. I'm just getting these nuts on, just one thread just to hold so that we still have some maneuverability to get our bottom bolts in. I'm gonna pop one of those tops out until I get my bottoms started. And I'll throw that top bolt back in. Thread on the rest of my nuts. And then I'm taking a 1/2 inch socket and wrench to tighten this down. Do that same thing on the other side. Now next we're gonna assemble our winch tray. So what we need to do is get our fog lights installed. So we're gonna lay those into place. And then we've got these Allen bolts that are gonna be going into the pre-threaded holes in our winch plate. So now just lay your fog light down. Start threading in your bolts. Do the same thing on the other one. And then take a 3/32 Allen wrench and tighten down those bolts. Now next we need to install our wire harness for the fog lights. Now we have these slots up above our fog light where we can run our wire through. So I'm just going to pass the connector through that hole, run my wire through that gap, and then plug it into the back of the fog light. We're going to do that on both sides. And now when we get our outer skin over this winch plate, we're not gonna be able to see up above here. So I'm gonna bunch all my wire together and zip tie it up here out of the way. Bunch up that wire, grab a couple zip ties. We're just gonna get this as hidden behind that bar as possible. And then take a pair of scissors or diagonal cutters and cut off that excess. And then we'll let our main connector hang out back here for the time being. So now we're ready to install our winch plate. Now we've got a couple studs on each side that are gonna go into the outer holes. We're gonna have to kind of get it at an angle to get these tabs behind our frame horns, and then we can rotate it up and into those holes. So now on the outside of our frame, I'm gonna reuse our factory bracket here. I'm gonna slide that over the studs and then reuse my factory bolt to thread into that hole. And then on those two studs, I'm gonna put a flat washer, lock washer, and nut that are included in our kit. Do that on each of the studs. And then I'm gonna take an 11/16 socket on a swivel adapter, tighten down those two nuts, and then we'll switch to a 16mm socket for our bolt. Now on the inside here, we're gonna reuse our factory bolt going into the side. And then we've got a bolt and a flat washer that's gonna be going through our frame horn. And then we'll do flat washer, lock washer, and nut on the other side of that. Do the same thing on the bottom one. And then we're gonna grab an 11/16 socket on a swivel adapter on our nut side and an 11/16 wrench on the bolt side and tighten those down. And then switch to your 16mm socket and tighten down your bolt. Now repeat the same process on the other side. Next, we can reconnect our bumper harness connector. Push that all the way in and then press that gray tab into place. And then you can press in your yellow locking tab and tuck that out of the way. Next, we're gonna mount up this filler panel. Now you're gonna be using one of the holes on the side of your frame here. We're gonna have to go up through the bottom to get a nut on. I'm just gonna raise this up into place. I'm gonna put a bolt through on the other side just to support it. And then just take your bolt and a flat washer, put it through the hole there. You're gonna take another flat washer, go up from the bottom and slide it onto your bolt. And then you're gonna do the same thing with your nut. I'm just gonna press it onto the end of my bolt and then use my bolt to thread it in. And then do that same thing on the other side and we'll come back and tighten them both down. So now grab a 7/32 Allen wrench for your bolt. We're gonna slide this back as far as it can go. And then I'm gonna grab a 9/16 wrench for my nut and tighten that down. And then do the same thing on the other side. And now we can take our outer shell and get it lined up and push it onto our winch plate. So now we just need to bolt down our bumper to our winch plate. Now we've got 4 bolts up top, 4 bolts at the bottom. Before we put the bolts in up top, we're gonna add our hoop, and then our bolts are gonna go through our hoop and through our bumper into our winch plate. So grab your Allen bolts with the flat washers and we'll thread those in. So now we're just gonna get our holes lined up, thread in our bolts. Now once you have your bolts in, take a 7/32 Allen wrench and tighten them all down. Do the same thing on the other side. And now we just have 2 bolts at the bottom on each side. We're using the same bolts as before with flat washers. Thread those in and take that 7/32 Allen wrench and tighten them down. Do the same thing on the other side. So that'll wrap up this review and install of the Rockslide Engineering Gear Series mid-front bumper with winch plate for your 2018 and newer Jeep Wrangler JL. Thank you for watching, and for all things Wrangler, keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.